Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Bad Moon's Orbit. I am, as always, your Swamp Kala Shaman, Dalton Montgomery.
And I'm Keyblade Master Darian Smart.
Ooh, that one's been a long time coming.
Thank you, yeah.
And we are back again today. We are talking more green. Anyone who's heard our Ironjawz episodes probably been waiting on this one, because today we are talking about the other side of orc culture, the Kruleboyz.
Kruleboyz spelt with a K.
It is. And a Z while we're at it.
That one's fine.
That's fair.
That one's fine. Is it KW?
No, it's
Okay.
Krule. Krule.
Okay.
Boyz.
That one is fine. Yeah.
But yeah, the sneakier, morkier side to our orcs. Kruleboyz are a delight. They're a fan favorite faction. I'm very excited to talk about them. But before we get into talking about them, Darian, do you have a game thing you'd like to share this week?
Yeah, okay. So I've talked about the Lorcana trading card game in the past. It's just the cards, and it's the Disney Magic the Gathering. And I have no desire to play or learn how to play, but I very much enjoy collecting the cards, and I very much enjoy sorting them and organizing them and going through my binder. Mm-hmm. It's very relaxing. Recently, I was visiting my family, and my almost 2-year-old nephew loves Mickey and Friends, and he was very excited to show me a Minnie Mouse toy, and I had just gotten a pack of cards where I had just gotten 2 minis, and so I was like, do you want to see a pretty picture of Minnie Mouse? And he said, yeah. So I showed him the cards, and he's like, whoa, and he's like, well, where's Mickey? He was looking through, like, Mickey. I'm like, no problem, man. So then I pulled out the 7 other booster packs that I had bought but hadn't opened yet and set them all in front of him. I'm like, all right, which one? And we looked through all of them, and y'all, one Mickey Mouse. And you might be thinking, well, yeah, they wouldn't have Mickey all the time. He said, that's not how it works, actually. I have lots of Mickeys. I've got lots of Mickey duplicates, but in this 7 packs, not one Mickey Mouse, and it wasn't a duplicate that I've already had, so I didn't just let him have it. But, in the spirit of that, I did go home and went through my binder and pulled every single Mickey and Friends duplicate that I have, and I have put them all together and framed them and made like a poster of just Mickey and Friends characters with our, core 5, as well as I had some Clarabelle Cow and a Good Pete card, and also Della Duck, Donald's sister from DuckTales 2017. And I'm going to give him that. It's just a present, because I recently moved into a new house, and he needs stuff for his bedroom walls,
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. Something to be cherished.
Yeah.
He's going to enjoy that so much.
I think so. He's going to be very excited. It's very cute. I'm happy with how it turned out. I did have to order 1 Donald Duck card because I realized I had the whole line of the food fight sequence, but not Donald. And it would look so good if the very first bottom row, the one you can see the most clearly, were all the same thing. And so I broke my one rule and did buy just this card. But that's it. That's all. Nothing else.
Yeah, and it was for someone else. So
it's for someone else. Yeah. It doesn't count. What about you?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and talk about I know the spirit of the thing is not to talk about a Warhammer thing, but just about a week ago, we did have our yearly Extra Life charity event.
Oh, yeah, but this doesn't count as this. It's like it's tangentially related to a Warhammer thing. You did Extra Life, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I helped organize the Age of Sigmar event for the Extra Life event that we do locally here in Boise every year. I don't have a breakdown of what we specifically earned at the Age of Sigmar event, but I know that the event overall cracked somewhere close to $10,000 raised for charity research. Yeah, I'm super excited. It was super nice to be a part of. I always participate in the Extra Life stuff, but this year it was just it worked out that I was able to help volunteer, organize, run it, get people interested, involved, and that was nice to be able to contribute in a way to doing good, just like broadly in the world. It's not often that the things that you enjoy have such an easy opportunity to intersect with things that also help the world in such a direct, charitable way. So that was really nice. I was a big fan.
That's very good.
Yeah, I had a good time. But on the exact opposite end of charitable actions, let's talk about our spooky green boys today.
Let's go.
So, like I already said, we talked about Ironjawz previously. The 2 halves of the Orcish god, right, is Gork, who's brutal, and Mork, who's cunning. Though the description I prefer given to us in the books is that Gork wants to fight and Mork wants to win. Ironjawz are our Gorkier orcs. They want the fight, they want the experience, they want the brawl. They don't really care why they're doing it usually. And they mostly become dangerous when someone has the willpower to get them all together for like a collective actual like goal, right? Because then if you can direct that force, then that's when they become a problem. Counter to that, Kruleboyz are, if Ironjawz want to fight but don't care about the winning, Kruleboyz are the opposite.
They want to
They
win.
just want to win, and they don't care about fighting to do it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That creates a very interesting philosophy about how they interact with the world, right? Where just wanting the success, the victory of something without the effort of it is already a thing that like we in the real world recognize as like a negative thing, right? Like, and especially when you live in a hostile world and you're already operating on that kind of like weird purple and orange morality that orcs operate on, where they don't understand the reason someone might have for not wanting something destroyed or broken or anything of that nature. Kruleboyz, in opposition to Ironjawz, who tend to be a little bit rambunctious, like they're dangerous, but people kind of understand that if you're on their level, they're not as big of a like issue and you can kind of work around them. Kruleboyz have garnered a reputation for not that. Kruleboyz are just kind of shitty.
Interesting.
The flip side of that. Just the framework through which Kruleboyz have chosen to interact with the world means that it is hard to say that there are like good Kruleboyz.
Interesting. Okay.
Because again, they don't care about the fight. They don't care about anything except for the win. And so they'll kind of do whatever it means to get that.
That's no good.
Right. Kruleboyz are so that gentleman right there in the front who's got the spear and the shield. Yeah. So that's just a normal like Kruleboyz orc.
That's just a guy.
Yep.
Okay.
He's a little bit lankier than his Ironjawz compatriots.
Those
He's
guys
a little
were
bit
stout.
They are, yes, absolutely. He's not wearing hardly any armor. He's got that big shield, but nothing that's gonna he doesn't have any chainmail on him. He doesn't have anything that's going to clank or scratch or grind that will give away his movement.
Stealthy.
Yes, stealth is the name of the game for Kruleboyz, because that's a really easy way to win without fighting. Kruleboyz also tend to consider themselves, like the aspect of Mork is cunning, so they consider themselves smarter than their Ironjawz.
Are they?
Like sides. Yeah, generally.
Okay.
They just put more focus into it. Orcs collectively refer to education as growing your thinking muscles. So that's how they frame it. Is it still a version of like fighting? You're just fighting knowledge and beating it and
Love
overcoming. That. Yeah. There's a really good, I don't have the whole thing written down, but to paraphrase, there's a really good like examination of the difference between Ironjawz and Kruleboyz mentality in the book, where it's a story from the perspective of a like cornate berserker who led his warband into orc territory to get fights, blood for the blood god, was fully expecting to just like, he's in orc territory, he's just going to fight and maybe he'll die, but whatever, and spill blood for the blood god. And the whole time they've been there, they've been poisoned and caught in traps like picked off in the night, and just all the like literally just the opposite of the straight fight he was hoping for, where his band is just dwindling and getting sick from this like choking like swamp smog and all these different things, until it's basically just him, and he gets like caught in the middle of the night, and they like drag him out in front of the orc boss, and he's like, if this is going to be the end of it, then like fight me like a true warrior, like blood for the blood god. And the orc thinks about it, and he says, nah, and stabs it. Because he wants to win, he doesn't want the fight. That's
stupid.
Yes, that's the underlying Kruleboyz mentality. That mentality extends into why Kruleboyz exist. So Kruleboyz are a newer, they're post like Age of Myth. They started popping up during the Age of Chaos, because the natural state of orc is much closer to Ironjawz. They're just kind of roving around fighting stuff, rather than it being like what happened with goblins, where they like mostly moved underground to survive the Age of Chaos and then adapted to like not being able to be in the sun and stuff. Kruleboyz saw it more as like, as they spread out across the realms and they inhabited new places, the earliest what would become Kruleboyz found these like terrible choking like swamps that are just like a drudge to try and live in, and they took that as a challenge. They saw
nice.
They saw these just like completely inhospitable like swamp environments and stuff as something to beat, as something to overcome.
That is admirable.
Yeah,
I dig that as a vibe.
Absolutely. And so that's where the earliest Kruleboyz originate, where the ones that survived into the modern day and became Kruleboyz are just the ones who are more willing to not fight in order to survive.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's where we get, the no armor, the sneakiness, the cunning, the willingness to learn like what mushrooms are safe to eat and which ones will kill you, like that kind of thing. The natural like predatory stuff that all the animals in these horrifying swamps exist within. And then once they had established this as a thing that they could do, that they had like beaten, that mentality starts to see it spread outward from there, where one of the absolute pinnacle of Kruleboyz like magical capability is swamp calling.
Swamp calling, you say?
Yeah, swamp calling.
Okay.
To where their wizard, the honorific for their wizards is being called a swamp kala. And what that means is the magic and the ability to transmogrify other areas, other land masses and stuff into these like choking, horrifying swamps of the Kruleboyz like origin. Like,
okay,
if you can imagine just the Florida Everglades, except someone was walking out to the edge of the Everglades and shaking their staff, and now part of a road is also swamp and like big horrifying mangrove trees and right, and that going on for who knows how long. There are huge swaths of Gur where Kruleboyz are native to, as all Orruks are, that used to be something else entirely and have now just been like magically converted into this like swampland.
Damn, okay.
Yeah, right?
For sure.
And anything that is the like an extension of that winter mentality, poison, ambush, needless death. Like Kruleboyz don't care about the fight, they care about the win. And so they have no reservations at all about fighting, attacking, and killing civilians, defenseless or helpless people. Like, got the win. What an easy win. Like, we did it. Yep.
Oof, not a good look,
No,
gang.
I was going to say Kruleboyz are awful. Like,
yeah, their name is accurate.
Yes, absolutely. Again, that's why they kind of garnered that reputation. But the other half of so that's the kind of core pillar that differentiates Kruleboyz from our other like orcs. The other one is because they developed in those swamps, and it's just the worst possible environment for maintaining like anything.
Yeah.
Kruleboyz also live and die by like a use it and lose it mentality.
Okay.
They don't have nice armor. They don't have nice weapons. They don't like really work to maintain anything. It's just kind of like, this is the spear I picked up today, and I'm going to use it until it breaks, and then I'm going to throw it away and not think about it anymore. Like, the idea of doing maintenance, already kind of like anathema to the orcish like mindset, is hypercharged under Kruleboyz because they just get by with whatever's on hand. They don't have like stockpiles of stuff. They don't have a personal, like, no Kruleboy would say, this is my spear. It's just the one I'm using at this moment, and I will throw it away when I don't need it anymore.
This is the spear.
Yeah.
Hand me a spear.
Yes.
I've got the spear.
Yes.
A spear.
Yep.
I said that too many times. Oh gosh.
Spear.
Spear.
That
spear.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for a third one, and I got stuck.
It works. Kruleboyz tend to treat allies the same way, because again, they've just like taught themselves that the most important thing is winning and nothing less. Like, building something long term just not only just isn't what we do because of orcs and like destruction, but is just like literally useless because it won't last. It'll just fall apart anyways. And so they treat, like I said, Kruleboyz don't form long lasting alliances basically ever, even with like in themselves. It's just kind of go where you want and do what you want.
Yeah.
Because they don't trust that anything meaningful that they build will last. So yeah, and again, it's so in a way they're meant to be a foil to how we think of other orcs, where the same thing happens with Ironjawz, right? Where it's like, oh, this is the bigger fight, I'm gonna split off from my group and go join that one. Whereas with Kruleboyz, it's just like, well, I fought under the banner of so and such today. I guess today I'll go fighting under the banner of this other guy.
Because whoever I think is going to win.
Yeah. Whoever I think's going to win, whoever I think has the better stuff, or, you know, I heard this guy's got a cool position where we might get to jab a guy real good. And that sounds fun. Again, the like violence is fun, or like destruction is fun also permeates them. But again, in that like winning mentality way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've already touched upon it, but yeah, the most like, I would say the biggest differentiating thing, because Ironjawz, again, also like Ironjawz don't claim territory. They don't like have permanent settlements. They just kind of wander around as this big cloud of breaking stuff. But Kruleboyz do have territory and have places that they permanently live so hard that, yeah, they use their transformative magic to swamp call, like, places into existence where they can continue doing that.
Yeah. What do their houses look like?
They mostly don't.
Okay.
They just sleep under the stars, but they'll create ramshackle stuff, but it's nothing fancy.
They don't have things. Or they have things, but not like things.
Yeah, they just whatever's handy. They'd prefer to like live in a cave, something else they found, than actually go to the effort of erect something.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But a lot of them will like sleep in trees, or they'll build pens and stuff because they're really good monster tamers. We'll see that a little bit.
I'm seeing a lot of a big spooky creatures.
Yeah. But for the most part, like any orc, they just kind of do whatever.
Okay.
They might throw up tents if they're really feeling it, but for the most part, they're not.
Okay.
That terraforming magic, turning stuff into swamp, is an extension of like orcish destruction magic, right? Because you're taking thing and in a way you're destroying the thing that it was and just making it this new thing. It's just like a perversion of that.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because normally orcish destruction magic would just be like, this is a thing that was erected with purpose. Now it's not that. Like we've cast foot, and foot has kicked it over.
Yep.
But you are destroying it's almost giving it purpose, but in a destructive way, because it can no longer be used for the thing it was.
Yeah.
Like this is magic so powerful that they can turn like deserts into swampland.
Whoa, how?
Yeah. Magic.
I mean, yes, okay, but like, I guess what makes this their magic? So do we have like an in-lore reason for why they're able to do this?
They're just really good at it.
Okay, it's like the one thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot of study. It seems like it's a lot of learning deeper. Kruleboyz wizards are way more potent than usually like even other like destruction wizards. Because like goblin wizards are also pretty capable generally, because goblins are also generally pretty cunning.
Yeah.
But they're, even in like gameplay terms, goblin wizards are going to be like plentiful, but they're not super good at actually doing magic because they just kind of learn at a surface level.
They're all doing cantrips.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Whereas to be like a proper swamp kala, it seems like you do genuinely have to have a pretty good understanding of magic. Like real
these are all
deep
level
stuff.
9 spells.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real deep stuff.
Okay.
And the most capable swamp kalas.
How do they learn how to do it?
Oral tradition passed between other swamp kalas, or swamp kalas almost start to become like, I don't even know what the right thing, like swamp colors are way closer to our conception of like what a witch is than a wizard.
Yeah, spooky witch.
Yes.
Spooky swamp witch.
Yes, I was
Cool.
going to say, swamp colors will live like in the muck of the swamp. Like most swamp colors can breathe underwater. They will just like, they become fully like
They're
amphibious.
deeply in tune to the swamp.
Yes. Or druids might even be a better, like they're
Yeah,
swamp
druids. Yeah, that tracks. Okay, that makes sense.
Absolutely. And so that's that's also key to it, because they couldn't use this magic to like do something else with it, right? They're so attuned to the swamp. They couldn't use the same magic to make something a forest, right? Like,
Yeah, okay, it's the one thing.
yes, it's swamp. We have like stories of the tome about, you know, like a distant like Sigmar outpost going to report to like the main hub, only to find that the route between like this outpost in the city is now swampland, where it wasn't like a month ago.
Oh shit,
Like,
that'd be so fucking
Right?
scary.
Right?
Just no.
Specifically, the quote is, Kruleboyz shamans warp and transform to better suit their environment. They're aquatic. They're often slime-coated like a leech or a slug, where they just secrete it. Slime-coated and horrible is the quote.
Slime coated and horrible.
And in addition to their terraforming magic and their kind of like, because they can do that to the land, and then also their like magic that they utilize in like warfare and stuff is a similar thing, where they're using tricks of the swamp on people. But in addition to magic, and this is also what gives them kind of the witchy or the druidic vibe, is that in addition to being very good at magic, swamp callers also pride themselves on their alchemy. They're very good at using the natural ingredients that the swamp provides them with to brew like protective elixirs or devastating poisons, or just kind of anything that might benefit them or harm their enemies. Swamp callers' alchemical knowledge genuinely rivals like Azurian scholars. Like,
that's really cool.
In a straight, like, they only know the swamp stuff, but they can turn anything into the swamp stuff. So
yeah, and they can use every part of the swamp stuff.
Yes, exactly. They're perfectly suited to their environment. And comboed with them being able to turn anything else into their environment, that is a devastating combination. This episode is going to be structured a little bit like our Flesh Eater Courts.
Hey, quick tangent. I legit had vampire nightmares the evening after we recorded that episode.
Your post about
that wasn't a joke. It wasn't like I woke up in the middle of the night like, oh no, pounding heart. But like when I woke up in the morning, I was like, I feel really uneasy. And I had I'm like, oh, that's why. That's all I had weird vampire dreams.
Shout out to you for tanking it for the content. We salute you. I would say the last big part of Kruleboyz psychology, because the winning is so important to them and the temporariness of things is so important to them. One of the few things that they can like hold on to as a point of somewhat semi-permanency is self, right?
Ooh, sense of self. Okay.
Yeah. And how they filter that through that winning mentality is infamy. It's very important to every individual Kruleboy that people know they're the biggest and the most important and the best at what they're doing. And even more that, because like, again, Ironjawz experienced that too, where it's like, oh, I'm the biggest and I'm the boss and I'm doing this like thing. But for Kruleboyz, it's almost like compulsive. Like every Kruleboy wants every other Kruleboy to know that I'm
the coolest
important guy. I did this thing, and that's why you gotta like respect me. You gotta listen to me. I won in this sneaky way or this impressive way, or I took 10 guys and we beat 50 guys, and that's all on me because that's the only thing with any permanence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And a really interesting twist to that though is the, like I said, the winning over fighting thing, because while they are content with, like, I went and did a thing and that was very impressive and I need you all to know about it.
Okay.
They also see lying about your accomplishments as a completely valid way of, like, building your infamy.
What?
Yes.
I guess, no, that makes sense because they don't care about the actual fight. They just want the win.
They just want the
credit.
win.
So you get the credit, get the win any
Yes.
way you can, even if it didn't really happen.
Yes, lying, specifically like successfully lying, means that you not only got the infamy for a thing you didn't do, which is a win without a fight, but you also got the infamy for telling a lie so successfully that people believed it.
No one caught you.
Yes. So it's just like many of our like big name Kruleboyz leaders with a lot of infamy are perfectly versed in the art of making up such like an obviously fake story that it inspires others to wonder what the actual truth is and how it might be impressive in its own right? Like a leader who says, I personally like fought 100 Stormcast and won, and you go, okay, that's obviously fake, but maybe that means the truth is they fought 50 Stormcast and won. And in reality, it's probably neither, but
Yeah.
they, like I said, they see that as totally valid in the grand orchestration of things, which I think is very fun. Just the whole culture of people with absolutely no care in the world for like long term.
Yeah, they're not trying to build anything.
No, exactly.
Even their own reputations, like.
Yes, they want it now. They want the win, right?
Yeah.
I know I'm going to end up saying that like 1,000 times this episode.
But I think it's important to like drive home because that's like the whole vibe.
Yes, it's so core to where Kruleboyz are at. Kruleboyz, we have a fun, this isn't like super important, but I think it's a fun thing and we can cover it quickly. When Kruleboyz enact an operation, Kruleboyz don't generally march to war. Like you're not going to get like an army of Kruleboyz so much as you're going to get an ambush of Kruleboyz.
Oh, no.
Yeah, collective verb for Kruleboyz is an ambush of victory. When they organize to do stuff, they do so into a organizational structure called a claw. Claw in this case just means like hand, and each finger of that hand is a different role within the claw.
Okay.
So the thumb is who's in charge. In the world of Age of Sigmar, the term under someone's thumb originates with Kruleboyz orcs.
I like that. Yeah. I like taking an idiom and being like, yes, it also exists in our world. Yes. And here's where it's from. Yeah. Because I do love a good idiom origin.
Right. So yeah, being under the thumb means that you are not in charge, and whoever that is the thumb. Usually it's just whoever has the most infamy, whoever has the best reputation of winning fights, because they got the best plan, they're the smartest, they got the finkin.
Yep.
The big finkin muscles. Yep. The next one is the jabbing finger. That's what they call the pointer finger.
Okay.
Because action oriented. They still speak Orcish. Your jabbing fingers, all your basic melee troops. It's just there's nothing particularly impressive about you, but we can hand you a spear.
You'll get the job done.
Yep.
Okay.
Most populated, most straightforward, usually the core of strategy. Kruleboyz give basically everyone else in the realm a run for their money sneaking, especially if they've managed to like make something swampland before they're sneaking on it, because they're just like, there's a description in here of someone getting snuck up on by a Kruleboyz orc, which is terrifying because they're still like twice as big as the average human.
Yeah.
But the first indication that they're there is that they hear them breathing.
No.
Right? Terrifying. But so yeah, just a core of like very sneaky orcs with their spears and shields is a very normal, like, that's going to be the bulk of your force. That's your jabbing finger.
Okay.
A bit of meta humor. The middle finger is your ranged weapons. That's your bow guys. You see we got a guy with a big crossbow up front, and then a guy with a much bigger crossbow right behind him. Yep. Kruleboyz pride themselves on their ranged weapons, a thing that most Ironjawz would never consider because it doesn't get you in the fight.
Yeah.
But when you don't care about the fight and you just want to win, shooting a guy from the next zip code is a great way to win.
Absolutely.
And then, yeah, the middle finger is just like a bit of meta humor. I don't know if there's like an in-text reason other than that
that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just haha.
Haha, we got
give a little laugh.
The next one's the trophy finger. That's what they call the ring finger. And that is your monsters.
Oh.
That is all of your big, being able to tame beasts is another route to infamy for Kruleboyz. Either taming or breeding or capturing like wild beasts are all seen as valid. Kruleboyz are so integrated into the swamp that their like beasts of war are just other native swamp creatures that they formed, oftentimes like a symbiotic relationship with.
Dang.
Where this creature recognizes that by working with the Kruleboyz, it's going to get fed more frequently. It's going to be protected from other predators. Like, that's just a good gig. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah. But the people who have bred or captured or tamed the biggest, most impressive creatures, they're in the trophy finger, and they're usually swooping in after the sneaking is happening, because despite everything, it's going to be much harder to hide a huge monster than it is just some guys.
Yeah. Not notoriously great at sneaking.
No. Though Kruleboyz monsters give stuff a run for their money. I was going to say, these are all creatures that Kruleboyz took interest in because they are good at sneaking or something similar in their own right. Like, and then the little finger is our Hobgrot auxiliary. Kruleboyz will work with Hobgrots, which are our little guy holding two knives. That's a normal grot, because they'll also work with normal goblins.
Okay.
But the little guy who's got the two knives out like this is a Hobgrot. Okay. He's just a little bit bigger. He's a hobgoblin. He's just a little bit bigger.
Oh, I see him. He's back here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Canonically, they're not green, and that's important.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, because the first Hobgrot tried to sell his services to Gork to spy on Mork after they split up, and Gork found that so offensive he stole his green. He took his green away as a mark of shame. And so Hobgrots will also work with Hellsmiths, but they
okay.
But they like working with Kruleboyz because they're a little bit more on the same level. Working with Hellsmiths is a little bit like, we're gonna get like yelled at and abused and treated poorly worse, but you have better stuff to like scrounge and steal. Whereas working with Kruleboyz, a Hobgrot can genuinely like rise through the ranks, become like an important part of the like clan structure where they're working with and stuff.
Yeah.
But they still get to be part of the little finger because they're small.
That makes sense. That just notes.
And Kruleboyz have found that it's just more efficient to let Hobgrots do their own thing, right? Like, you don't put Hobgrots in a regiment with other Kruleboyz and try and give them orders like that. You just tell whoever's in charge of the Hobgrots, hey, this is the plan. Can you do your part of it? And they go, yeah.
Yeah,
and then they do it.
Cool, man.
Yeah. But that's I like again, because it speaks to because Ironjawz do something similar where a group of Ironjawz is called a fist, but it's not as well organized. It's just kind of like everybody's together because a fist by its nature.
Together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I like the thinking like big brain. Each one of them has a different purpose, a different like specialized thing that they're doing. So last thing we're going to talk about with like Kruleboyz broadly is what they've been up to.
Oh, okay.
Because Kruleboyz are a relatively recent army to the game. They were the 3rd edition launch army, so they're like 4 years old at this point.
Pretty new and shiny still.
Yeah, absolutely. And Warhammer generally does a pretty good job of saying like, okay, if these have existed for a while, why haven't we known about them? Why are they only emerging now? Like
Appropriate
we saw that
backstory.
Yeah, exactly. We saw that with the Hellsmiths, where they were just like in hiding until the Vermin Doom. For Kruleboyz, it was Kragnos. Kragnos emerges. He causes a big stir.
We care not for Kragnos.
Yes, no, Kragnos is bad. But he's a great opportunity for if you've been lurking and like doing your thing when people wander into your swamps, maybe doing raids, expanding the swamp slowly and stuff. A big disruption like this is an excellent opportunity for you to be like, great, we're going to just like follow in the tread of that. We talked about the like orcish mentality around religion in a previous episode where orcs worship Gorkamorka and one aspect usually in dominance, but they see Gorkamorka in all things. So you'll have orc clans that worship like a big monster pig or like a rock formation or just anything that can be destructive. There's a band of Ironjawz who worship like a cannon that they stole from Caradron.
For sure.
Because anything that can cause destruction is an aspect of Gorkamorka. When Kragnos emerged, one of the Kruleboyz cultures, one of the big clans, decided that he was a living incarnation of Gorkamorka, and that's what facilitated kind of that. We talked about the Kragnos doesn't care about orcs, but he was willing to use them. That's kind of what facilitated that.
Interesting.
All these orcs went, wow, what a huge destructive force. We'll follow him as an aspect of Gorkamorka. And then they did.
And then they did.
Yep. That got Kruleboyz out into the open. It made people more aware of them generally in the realms, and it made them more capable and confident to go out and fight. They might have emerged earlier, if not for we have this was at the time a teaser. Because we didn't know about like the details about Hellsmiths yet, but we can now like trace back to this is what was happening. There is a war talked about. War might be a strong might be a strong word, but basically there was a time when Kruleboyz and Hellsmiths worked more closely together.
Interesting.
Not like in the same spaces, but they would trade. Like Kruleboyz were more willing to like go out and grab things and like trade raw materials and stuff. Hellsmiths would trade them for mechanical secrets or like equipment or what have you. And that eventually came to a head in which both sides confidently declared that the other had betrayed them.
Oh, neat.
For all we know, both of them are probably right because they're not exactly, we're not talking about the most upstanding, like noble groups here, but that escalated
They had
into,
a falling out.
Yes, that escalated into this like crazy shadow conflict, right? Where both of these groups are kind of hidden from the world and they are waging all out war on each other. Like
They don't want anyone else to know about it.
Yes. And that decimated both their populations until Kruleboyz just like, we're like, oh, well, they're not going to come out of their hold, so we'll just go back to the swamps, cut it off, and then they still do like a little bit of trade and stuff with each other with the Havgrats as intermediaries. But that also, like I said, that devastated the Kruleboyz population. They went back to like hiding in the swamps for a long time, and so were it not for the emergence of Kragnos, they probably would still be in hiding a little bit, trying to recuperate their strength.
Yeah.
But
as a player of the Destruction faction, how did you feel when, this is 4 years ago now, obviously, but like, how did you feel when it's like, hey, here's a new thing for you? Like, what is that like as a player?
I was pretty excited. 4 years ago, I was still pretty new into Warhammer. I got into it at the end of 2nd edition, which was 2020. Warhammer was my COVID hobby.
Podcasting was mine.
Yep. Synthesis.
Hey.
So at the time, I just played Ironjawz. Ironjawz was actually my first army.
That makes sense.
When Kruleboyz first came out, and still a little bit now, it's a little bit like harder to do now. But at the time, you could run an Ironjawz army or a Kruleboyz army or what's called a Big Wah army, which is all of them. You can mix and match them to your heart's content. That was more of a viable thing in past editions. They've scaled it back a little bit now because usually it was just the best way to play orcs, and that's not great if you only like one side or the other, right? Like even if you ended up taking no Kruleboyz, it was often better to play a Big Wah army with just Ironjawz units rather than like a full Ironjawz army. And so at the time, for me, it was more of a like, it wasn't so much a like, ooh, a new army to get into. It was like a, wow, if I want to have some crossbow guys or some sneaky guys or like a big monster in my orcs army, I can now, which was cool. I was into it.
Nice.
I was a big fan. That's Kruleboyz kind of at a glance.
Okay.
We got the magic, the monster taming, the sneaking. We're going to talk about the individual like monsters a little bit because they're very neat. But yeah, that winner mentality and that willing to try crazier things, both because it's a potential leg up on an adversary, but also because if it doesn't work, you can just discard it. Because you're not looking toward that like long-term building of stuff.
Yeah.
Really exemplifies the Kruleboy like thing. So let's talk about the clans.
Let's talk about the clans.
3 big ones to talk about.
Okay.
The first are the Grinning Blades. So
Cool. Okay.
Grinning Blades are the stealth clan. All Kruleboys are sneaky, but Grinning Blades are the ones who like exemplify themselves on it. They are even amongst other Kruleboys, they consider themselves the sneakiest. This is where that story is from, where despite their size, despite their like strength, Grinning Blades are so sneaky that it's often said that the first indication that they're in the room with you is the sound of their breathing. Like,
so upsetting.
Right? They are the personal clan of one of our famous faces, a man named Gobsprak, who we'll talk about in a little bit. But Gobsprak is also the conduit through which the Kruleboyz really latched onto Kragnos. He acted as a little bit of the like inciting force there for them to interpret that as such, and therefore the Grinning Blades were also seen as kind of the personal cohort of Kragnos for the time in which that relationship was strong. Like Kragnos has since been like Kragnos got like trapped and banished in like a footnote in a different book, and so we'll talk more about what that means for the Grinning Blades in the section on Gobsprak because he's really leveraged that situation. But yeah, during the time of Kragnos, they were Kragnos's like kind of personal cohort, and they are just absolute masters of like, in the morning you have a town, in the afternoon you have a ghost town, and it's surrounded by swamplands.
Oh God.
Yep. After the Grinning Blades, we have one of my favorite clans, just because I think they're very funny, the Big Yellas.
Okay.
So Big Yellas are native to Shaman, where they have still that like use it and discard it mentality, but because they're on Shaman, which is like a land of metal, a land of innovation, a land of bounty in terms of like raw material and stuff, the Big Yellas are at the forefront of crazy like ranged weapon contraptions.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
They make the big crazy crossbows, the really big crossbow there. That's called a beast skewer kill bow. Yes. And those were invented by the Big Yellas clan, with later clans just adopting the design and learning how to make them, build them. But to Big Yellas, the absolute pinnacle of the Kruleboyz ideology of that like winning without fighting means doing as little work as possible at all times. So, so they will experiment, they will build stuff, but it is all in service of the absolute best thing in the world to them, the funniest thing in the world. I don't know if I've like emphasized it very much, but to Kruleboyz, all this is also comedic. It's not it's not just I'm going to win and that's going to make me feel big and it's going to make me feel powerful. It's shooting a guy from a zip code away and like hitting him with a crossbow I built out of garbage is the funniest thing in the whole world. Look how better I am than him. Like,
interesting. Yeah.
They're bullies is kind of.
I was trying to find. Yeah, you're right. They're just bullies.
Yes. So Big Yellas have gone to the absolute far end of that, where they will build and they will invent and they will create and they will assemble these huge ramshackle contraptions and stuff on their own time, because the absolute funniest thing in the whole world is like an approaching army and you like, without getting up from your chair, like flip a switch or push a button and just like pelt them in arrows and they all die, right? Like exerting as little effort in like actually dangerous situations as possible is the goal for Big Yellas. They want a bow that shoots 100 bolts per volley that they can like steer from their couch.
You have a remote and you don't even, like you said, you don't have to get up to do this.
Yes. They take Caradron airships, like they'll steal them because the Caradron are native to Shaman. They'll steal them and they'll like weld multiple of them together so that all of the engines are facing in different directions so they don't have to turn the wheel, right? Like that. That's the level we're operating on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they can fire the cannons in every direction without having to reorient them. Like I said, they even outside of like Caradron stuff that they steal, they're actually kind of at the cutting edge of making like their own vehicles and stuff too for smaller scale stuff, so that they don't have to like move themselves during combat. Yeah. Like they can shoot at a guy and then they can flip a switch and it'll like putter them backwards, right? Like even like wheeled vehicles, like ground vehicles. They're just very lazy, and that's the point. like, because they don't want to. The effortlessness of it is funny to them. The fact that they put in all the work ahead of time so that they can look effortless in the actual
cool
fight.
And okay.
Absolutely. That's, like I said, the comedic aspect for the Grinning Blades is that they're so sneaky despite being so big that they can sneak up on you and whisper boo in your ear before they get you.
Yep. That one is funny though.
Right.
Like that one is actually pretty fucking funny. Like I'll give them that one. Because you had to work for that. You did have to work to get that. Like,
absolutely. They're so sneaky.
Like you earned that.
Yes. And then our weird clan, we had this with the Ironjawz too, where they had the Chappas, who are like weird kind of religious movement.
Yeah.
Where they'll like go into towns and announce that they're coming. Yeah. Our weird clan for Kruleboyz are the Skullbugs.
Grinning Blades. Something with the bows.
Big Yellows.
Okay. Please cut all of this.
You're fine. Big Yellows because, again, it's funnier distance and also like yelling because that's not like you getting up and doing stuff. And also their primary color is yellow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they paint their shields yellow.
That's fun.
I
like the duality of that.
Yeah. Skullbugs are weird even to other orcs, even to other Kruleboyz.
Oh, neat.
Like,
okay.
It's an accomplishment in and of itself to be too gross for people whose native habitat is being half submerged in like swamp slime. Right.
Yeah. So what's their deal?
Skullbugs worship the very idea of crawling insects.
Okay.
Yes. They don't hold particular thing for like the more legs, the better, the more like skittery, the better. They don't hold any particular love of any specific insect. It's just if it's a millipede or a centipede or an ant or something that's going to skitter and move weird and be multitudinous often, they're into it. Skullbugs just like bugs, and I'm not fully sure why. How that ties into the larger like Kruleboyz mentality. They just do.
They just do, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Probably aspect of Gorkamorka stuff, right? Like worship usually comes that way via Kruleboyz. The way in which like a termite colony can just turn a tree into nothing, they'd probably find some kind of reverence, and that would be my guess. But
that makes sense. Yeah.
Kruleboyz seek to embody that worship. Everything with orcs is action focused. So Kruleboyz have rituals involving being submerged in an ant hive, letting yourself get bitten by millipedes, and then reporting whatever like visions you get in the resulting like poisonous like fever dream, right? Like just anything bug related is gonna be if you've ever seen, this is a real human thing, if you've ever seen there are parts of the world where medically to do like sutures, if they don't have like proper materials, you can kind of like hold the wound closed and then hold an ant up to it, and the ant will bite into your skin, and then you just twist the ant's head off, and the bite will hold.
Oh my god.
Yep. That's a real human thing. And Kruleboyz do it too. The ones that worship bugs.
I feel like that's something I should have learned to listen to the Sawbones podcast. And I can't say I have.
It's a weird one.
It's a weird one.
It's a weird one. And ants are crazy. There's just like a bajillion different varieties of ants, and they're super fascinating. But that's not, this isn't the Dalton Gushes About Ants podcast. An extension of that, a necessary extension of that, is that skullbugs see specifically like parasitic insects as a form of blessing. Kruleboyz will willingly let themselves get like parasites because then they are more close to the bugs that they worship. Yes. And additionally, the like big skullbugs have an affinity for taming like big monsters and stuff, bug-like and otherwise. And they do the same thing to the big monsters they tame. So you have your big like lizard that you tamed and stuff, and you willingly give it like parasites as a blessing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, right. You could see why other Kruleboyz are like, because it's not even just grossness. Other Kruleboyz are like, we don't like hanging out with skullbugs because then you have a fucking itch up and down your neck from all the like gross
just bugs everywhere. This isn't good.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not beneficial. That's not smart. What are you doing?
Right. In previous editions of the game, if you played a skullbugs focused army, it made your unit so fucking gross that it made it harder for the enemy to hit you. Yeah. Because they just couldn't like keep their lunch.
Look at you.
Yeah, right. Like
that seems reasonable. Yeah.
Terrible. Yes. But yeah, those are our major clans. There's not like a ton of info on them because they're relatively new and they didn't get like a ton of focus. They shared the book with Ironjawz. That's just kind of the nature of. I'm hoping they get separate books at some point. It'll be worse for me financially because I'll want to buy both books.
I'll never financially recover from this.
Right. But I want more focus on each of the on Ironjawz and Kruleboyz separately because I think that's interesting.
That's how I feel about K-pop Demon Hunters merch. I would love for there to be more.
Mm-hmm.
I can't afford to buy that $150 3-pack set of all of the girls at the end in their what it sounds like gear, but I want it real bad. Do I want it? $50 a doll? That's crazy.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
If the molds are good and the outfits are perfect and the designs are good, then it's like...
Yeah.
But I feel that it's like, oh, I would love to have access to more of this thing I like. However, if you actually make more of the thing I like, I will have to buy it.
Yes.
And oh no, money.
Before we move on from the clans real quick, I just realized that we're going to talk about the monsters, but I do want to take a moment to talk about our other individual units.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Just to talk on them. We already talked briefly about the beast skewer kill bow. That's the really big one.
Yeah.
Invented by the Big Yellas clan.
Big Yellas.
We love, orcs love hauling them out to just shoot at monsters because again, that's very funny that I'm just a guy with some plywood I nailed together and I'm taking down a dragon or whatever. The smaller one is a man skewer bolt boy.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yep. Similar philosophy of just I don't need to be good at fighting you in melee and you don't get to threaten me. I'm just going to shoot you from over here. Haha.
I'm way over here. You can't get me.
Yep. The basic Kruleboyz troop is called a gut ripper. That's our spear boy you already looked at.
Yeah. I like you've got the red on the tip of his spear point.
Thank you.
It's a good and unsettling detail.
My if I could talk about my personal homebrew army lore, my Kruleboyz are from shaman, and so I thought it would be interesting if their poison was based in rust instead of normal poisonous plants and stuff.
That makes sense.
I think that's a different take, which also lets me use some red, which contrasts nice with their purple and blue color scheme.
Yes.
So. The guy with the staff with the hand on the top of it, that's our swamp collar shaman. You can see he's got the spooky, he's got the kind of witchy, druidy vibe.
Yeah.
He's got some very bad soup.
Yeah, now he's got some cool potion bottles back here. I love the mold on, It just looks like it's like he's pouring it out, but it also looks like it's becoming smoke.
Yeah.
It's liquid at the top, and then it clearly is shifting and becoming a gaseous substance.
Yeah.
As it interacts with more of the air around it, and that's crazy and deeply unsettling.
Right. He's just got some kind of big monster hand on the end of his staff.
Yeah. What is this? Given this as above, so below symbol? What?
I think it's just some kind of creature because our other one of our famous faces is also a swamp color shaman, and we know where his hand on the end of his staff came from.
Oh, okay.
But that's framed as a very special thing, and so it's not the same thing.
Okay.
Because his is special, but just some creature that he found worthy of sticking their hand on the end of his staff as a
neat
iconography or some kind of magical channel. Our big orc with the axe and the shield is a Kruleboyz. That's just if you don't do magic. And you're important. You
is he just taking out a stormcast? Oh, he's just standing on some abandoned
pushing him down
armor.
to the swamp. Yep.
Oh, into the swamp. That makes sense. Oof, brutal.
As is the case with most launch boxes, Kruleboyz were at the start of 3rd edition, which means they come in a start of edition box against Stormcast. So both the first wave of Kruleboyz have some Stormcast armor in their bits and stuff. And the Stormcast from that box set will have Kruleboyz weapons scattered on their bases and whatnot.
That's neat.
Storytelling, yeah. And then just a selection of goblins in front of those.
Do love a goblin.
We have Stabgrot, which hangs out with the Kruleboyz to stab stuff that they want stabbed. We have the Potgrot, which is my favorite.
They got a pot.
Yep, he helps the Swamp Collar Shamans. Usually a Swamp Collar Shaman will go through Potgrots in the same way they go through weapons or anything else. They just drank the wrong potion or ate the wrong ingredient and killed them, or they got left in a swamp somewhere because they weren't keeping up. But particularly successful Swamp Collar Shamans will often get a grot who's kind of on their level, and they work really well in tandem. They work really well as a pair, where the grot knows what ingredients are important and can scavenge on his own.
Just trying to find someone competent for this position.
Absolutely, it's literally
for your PA position.
Literally what it is. And then the Hobgrot we already talked about a little bit, and just a little bit bigger. He's got knives. wearing a little bit better armor. Let's talk about monsters, because it's going to be the
Very
rest of our
excited to talk
models
about the
as well.
monsters.
Yeah, or the great beasts of the Kruleboyz. The first, understated, but one of my favorite models is the Great Gnashtooth.
Okay.
That's going to be our boy in the middle there with the spear. He's the smallest.
This guy here?
Back.
This guy here.
Yeah. They're kind of like, they've got a canine
I was going to say,
aspect to them.
it's giving pit bull.
Yes.
It's giving Rottweiler mixed with rhinoceros.
Yes. I was going to say they're hairless, which is mostly hairless, which is beneficial when you live in a swamp.
Yeah.
Right. A little bit like reptile dogs, a little bit is kind of the vibe.
Yeah.
Like big burly swamp canines. There are such things as lesser Gnashtooths. They don't have models. So great Gnashtooths are just what we get. Cool. Bigger than an orc. Kruleboyz, I talked about it briefly, but Kruleboyz are looking for the things they value in the beasts that they tame, right? Like a Kruleboy would never tame like one of the Ironjawz, like big pigs. Because a pig can't be subtle. A pig can't be sneaky. It's just going to break stuff.
Yeah.
But Gnashtooths are smart. Gnashtooths are scavengers by nature, which is very Kruleboy. They will hide themselves below the water line in the swamp like an alligator to move and whatnot. And they have trickery that makes the Kruleboyz like them. Gnashtooths can throw their bark like a ventriloquist.
That's very good. That's
right?
a very useful trick.
Right? Wild Gnashtooths will use that for hunting, where they'll trick prey into thinking that they're surrounded by throwing their bark. And really capable Kruleboyz who ride Gnashtooths will learn to mimic the Gnashtooth's bark. And so both of them in tandem will be confusing their enemy by throwing their bark
That's
out.
really fun.
Right?
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
It's neat. Yeah, like their scavenger nature draws Kruleboyz to them because, again, winning without fighting. And usually riding a Gnashtooth is the first... Or riding a Gnashtooth is of the like Jabin Finger, which is where Kilobosses tend to land because they're just more impressive, like gut reppas, basically. They don't have any special skills. They're just good at violence. Gnashtooths are usually kind of the height of that. They kind of specialize like monster taming skills you need, just don't come naturally to Kilobosses. That's why they're Kilobosses.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll end up on vultures, which we'll talk about next, which are our big bird. But most end up on Gnashtooths because they're relatively simple. You can kind of keep them in line through trickery, and that's interesting. So we'll jump straight to vultures because vultures. That's also our famous face, but we're not talking about them. Yeah. Just focus on the bird. Vultures are also very tricky animals. Despite being vultures, they aren't scavengers. They actively hunt.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
right?
So just not the thing at all.
No.
Actually not the thing. Okay.
No. But their trick, and the reason Kruleboyz like them, is that they will hunt smaller prey, or they'll find smaller kills, or they'll steal smaller kills, and then they will take those kills and they will display them on branches or rock outposts or just like anywhere that they can set them. That's a good ambush spot.
Just wait for something bigger to come get it.
Vultures lay traps, which is why Kruleboyz like them. It's intentionally evocative of real life animal butcher birds.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yep. Butcher birds impale stuff on like tree branches and stuff for storage, but vultures do it to attract bigger prey. They'll catch something small and put it on display in a location where they can hide and wait for something bigger to come along that they can then ambush.
Nice.
Right?
It's giving that the dark crystal.
Yes.
The
yes.
awful bird things from the dark crystal. It's giving that.
Skixy.
I've never seen the dark crystal. I'm scared of it.
That's fair. Yeah, vultures are very dark crystal for sure. I love vultures because of their relationship to Kruleboyz arcs. So Kruleboyz figured out what vultures were doing, and they said, aha, a way to like more easily tame them. We are going to drug like larger animals and then push them into the like trap, so the vulture will eat the larger animal, get drugged, and then we'll get it. Yeah, it's the I'm gonna make a Discworld reference. It's what Buggy does, where he runs up the seagull's beak and punches it in the face and tames it. It's basically what Kruleboyz do, just with more Kruleboyz. Where they'll drug it so that it's not as dangerous to them, and then they'll run up and tie it down and like just like force integrate it, where it's like, okay, we're in charge now, like type stuff. That worked for a little bit, but Vultures is smart.
Okay.
So they figured out that that's what Kruleboyz were doing. And Vultures started taking the like drugged, like larger prey animals that Kruleboyz were pushing towards them, looking like they were eating it, and instead just like storing it and then pretending to be drugged. So that
they're very smart.
Yes.
Okay.
Because then when the Kruleboyz ran up like, aha, it's drugged, we can go get it, then they would kill the Kruleboyz.
That's great. Look at that. I'll eat you.
Yes, exactly what it is. And so the Kruleboyz figured out that that's what was happening. And so then they started drugging the Kruleboyz that they sent to go get the Vultures. They stopped drugging the animals that they were sending in and started drugging whoever was like lowest ranking on the totem pole, basically.
Oh my God.
But then the Vultures figured that out, and they would just take the non-drugged, now like bigger like prey animal and fly away with it, and just like not go after the Kruleboyz. So there's just this like zany spy versus spy Looney Tunes ass like arms race between Kruleboyz and these big ass Vultures.
Changing your strategy
it's
to find the new thing. What are they doing now?
It just like ongoing. It's just constantly changing.
We don't know the current strategy.
No, it's
maybe we go back to the first thing, because this generation probably would have forgotten, right?
Yes.
How long has that been going on for?
Ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Ever, yeah.
So like the Vultures that know, the green guys, they're drugged. Don't eat them. Maybe don't remember that originally the prey animal was drugged.
It's just Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny shouting rabbit season, duck season at each other, but one of them is a giant vulture and the other one is orcs. Yeah.
Yep.
Huge fan of everything with vultures. Yeah. The vultures are the other one that Kilobosses will ride because they're smart enough to like take command, take order, and it gives them like a high vantage point from which they can direct like the ground forces. That's one of the big advantages of a Kiloboss riding a vulture or a Gnashtooth, for what it's worth, is just having a higher advantage and faster reaction to like direct the fight, basically. We even see that in the rules for vultures, where they give benefits to like reposition and stuff for gut repos units. Okay. But the other famous like vulture rider is our famous face Gobsprack, but we'll get to him in a second.
We'll circle back.
Absolutely. A couple more monsters. Let's talk about Sloggoths.
Okay.
Sloggoth is the guy with the big thing on his back up front there. Yeah, that's him. Sloggoths are a subspecies of Troggoth, are trolls.
Oh.
Yeah. Same trolls as like we get in Gits. But the adaptiveness that trolls exhibit, where like the ones that live up in the mountains and eat rocks get their rocky hide, and the ones that live in the like rivers and stuff get like swampy and gross. Sloggoths are adapted for those like Kruleboyz swamp environments where like Fellwaters, which are our normal like river trolls, they've adapted to stealth, but they've adapted even further than river trolls do, where they have actually learned to be like properly sneaky, not just like crocodile style ambush predators. They will move through the low water. They have that like confusing Troggoth intelligence where they're technically sentient, but they don't really use it for anything.
I was going to say, how much of a bummer is this?
It's still pretty bummer. Sloggoths are sneaky enough that even Kruleboyz respect them for it. Like they're like, if we're doing like a embody the might of the bear and the like kind of like aspirational animal stuff. Yeah. Sloggoths would be what Kruleboyz point to as like, that's a similarly sneaky thing.
Okay. Hey, this guy on top has a drum and it feels pretty anti-sneaky to me to have a big old drum up here.
Correct. Okay. That's part of it.
Okay.
So Sloggoths do not work with Kruleboyz of their own volition. No. Sloggoths, like many of the other like beasts of burden that Kruleboyz work with, are captured and press ganged into service. And like I said, I made the reference to the like aspirational, like, oh, strength of the bear, like type thing. That's not how Kruleboyz think. Kruleboyz think for the win. And so to them, the win is, aha, this thing is so sneaky that we can aspire to its sneakiness. And so if we catch one, we're going to put a big rock around its neck and a drum on its back so that it's not sneaky anymore.
Oh my God.
We're humiliating it.
We need to be sneakier than it.
Yes.
We're living up to the name, gang.
I was going to say, we're deriving bully-like joy from like not using this thing to its fullest advantage by
that just doesn't feel very smart.
No, but it's funny. and they beat
that.
it.
We'll
Yep.
trade off, yeah.
So in war, they act as like coordination platforms.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, no Kruleboy would willingly ride one because the reason it exists is to humiliate. But they get goblins to ride them, and they put drums on their back and stuff to do what drummers have done all throughout history, like coordinate the ground forces. So a Sloggoth will usually just like hide below the water line until the fighting breaks out proper and stealth isn't as necessary anymore. And the goblins will spur it to fight and hit the drums, drive the rank and file forward.
I see. Okay.
Yes. The goblins also get those big snagging sticks, or what they're called, where they'll just try and grab a guy and push him into the swamp water, basically.
Yeah,
because
that'll
goblins aren't good at fighting, but when you have height on somebody,
that means a lot.
Absolutely.
It means a lot.
Absolutely. Second to last one. There's just not a lot about them. We're actually going to end up talking more about the guy on his back.
Okay.
But the guy right next to that is a mire brute Troggoth.
Oh, okay.
So also a type of Troggoth, but seemingly like a little bit more influenced by like Gurish magic. We get the implication that mire brutes aren't as smart as other Troggoths.
Okay.
Like they're closer to being animals than other Troggoths are. Kind of an orangutan of a Troggoth, as opposed to like a person of a Troggoth. Because mire brutes are mostly just kind of big and dangerous and mean. They have enough wherewithal to like hold weapons, but not really like more complicated tools. They just kind of
this guy's got clubs, not swords.
Yes.
Even the clubs have like spikes and iron in it to make it more effective.
Yes. So mire brutes are kind of the like taming and riding a mire brute is seen as a mark of privilege, and usually the only people who are capable enough to do such a thing are the caste of like Kruleboyz leadership, known as break-a-bosses.
Oh, okay.
Yes, break-a-bosses are the beast taming experts. Kruleboyz will breed beasts. They'll like capture beasts and like press gang them into service. But for the things that are actually genuinely tamed, that's the break-a-boss's job.
Okay.
The break-a-caste, the break-a-tribe are experts at all of the different things that you need to, like when to use the carrot, when to use the stick, when to encourage or discourage certain behavior in the various beasts that Kruleboyz like to tame. And mire brute Troggoths are both to them like a sign of their like expertise, like only I could do this, but also lets them go to battle in a way that doesn't impede their job, right? Like it would be harder for them to continue with the like beast directing, beast taming type stuff if they were riding something bigger, just because like getting close to stuff and not being the focus, while still being more dangerous in the field, right? Because they can kind of direct, but like I said, break-a-bosses don't often go to war, like their job is taming the beasts. But when they do, they prefer to ride their mire brutes and still like coordinate the beasts. Like they'll go along with the other beasts and kind of give them a poke if they're not doing the right thing, or shout whatever like commands they've taught them.
That makes sense. That's like their job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then our last monster, one of my favorite just like monsters. I'm a big fan of a cool monster design, and these are one of my favorites, sludge raker beasts.
This thing is very cool. I have been admiring it.
Right, I'm a huge fan.
What is going on with its tail? What is this?
It's a big whip.
Oh.
It's like a cat of nine tails whip is the intent. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, not like a bull whip where it's just one thing. It's the lash.
Yes.
Yeah. Sludge raker beasts are huge, venomous ambush predators. Imagine that thing lurking below the surface of a water crocodile style.
No.
Yep.
I don't want to.
They are by many Kruleboyz seen as like the pinnacle of like a Kruleboyz adjacent monster, where they are sneaky, they are powerful, they also like exist to trick and overwhelm and snatch and like run, and they are symbiotic with Kruleboyz. Sludge rakers do not need much taming. Their goals are already aligned with the Kruleboyz riding them.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Sludge rakers are highly valued as mounts, for how they work in tandem with the last big cast, because we got the Killaboss cast, the Swamp Kala cast, the Break-a-Boss cast, and this is the Snatch-a-Boss cast.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
They do have a lot of cages, I'm seeing.
Yep. Kruleboyz take captives for any number of reasons, often for fighting pits, because that's another Yeah, that's another version of we won. Like, we're going to make you fight for our entertainment. Sometimes for information, sometimes for just to be shitty. Because we win against you every day because you wake up in that cage. So Snatcha bosses love Sludge Raker beasts because Sludge Raker beasts are already like extremely capable at taking stuff, at hiding
They do
and
have
grabbing.
very long. They're like that thing that has the very long nail.
Eyes.
Yeah, and it just tap 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 tap.
Yep.
It's like that. That's but way less cute.
Yes. Yeah. A Sludge Raker beast's instinct is already to incapacitate and haul off a victim. So Orruks can fit them with cages and use them to just take prisoners at their discretion, right? It takes very little training to teach the Sludge Raker beast not to just immediately put whatever it catches in its mouth, right? Like,
Okay.
And then, the Snatcha bosses riding them also outfit themselves with grappling hooks and chains, and sometimes they'll have those big snatching sticks where they can just collar people and stick them in the cages or hand them off to the Sludge Raker beast. The other half of what makes Sludge Raker beasts so terrifying is not just their like stealth and their big grabbing hands, but that their venom is extremely toxic.
Oh no, that's awful.
It's paralytic. Yes, that's the threat. It's going to paralyze you, which makes it easy to put in the cage or just stab if that's where we are.
Yeah.
And it's not just like they drool it, they secrete it from their mouth and from the talons on their hands, but they also do just kind of sweat it.
Oh, yikes. So
Yep.
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere to the point that Sludge Rakers that are like kept and bred, not just like wild caught, will be bred to sweat more of it. And then Kruleboyz rank and file, like you got a guy with a crossbow, they'll just take their crossbow bolts and like rub them along the underbelly of the Sludge Raker before putting them back in their bow.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
Then they can shoot you and you're paralyzed.
Yeah.
Same thing with, like the rank and file spearmen. They'll just scrape their spears along the underside of the Sludge Raker and then makes him that much more devastating. Horrifying. But
Horrifying, yes.
just super spooky. But yeah, like I said, they've got their claws and their bite are mostly for the like paralysis. Sludge Rakers probably evolved the big like whip-like tail for fighting amongst each other. They're more like ram horns for like fights of dominance, because they're devastating, but not when you have big lizard skin. But they're a bludgeoning weapon. They don't secrete the poison from their tail.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
So which would facilitate the theory presented in the book that it was like a dominance thing. Again, like the same reason why like a lot of rams have horns is more for the like butting heads dominance ritual than actual protective stuff.
Yeah.
And so having an aspect of your physiology that isn't like as devastating that you can just use to like, oh, I'm going to hit you with my tail. That means I'm in charge.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And it's also, I love a monster that's designed with real biology in mind.
Yeah.
Like that's great. Big fan. But those are our big monsters. I wanted to give them their own section because like Kruleboyz monsters are very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very cool. They seem very important to like the overall dynamic of these characters and this narrative.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah.
They deserve their own section in the episode for sure.
They're right before our famous faces. We're going to get into our famous faces next. And I feel like they deserve equal screen time. Like Kruleboyz monsters are a big part of their culture and the thing that they do.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna transition straight from the monsters into our monster focused famous face.
Let's go.
So I don't actually have his model.
Okay.
But just picture our buddy on the Sludge Raker beast there, but with a cooler hat.
Okay.
Our first famous face we're going to talk about is Swamp Boss Scumdrek.
Cool.
Swamp Boss Scumdrek is a gambling addict.
Oh, buddy. That's rough.
Yes. Swamp Boss Scumdrek is a gambling addict with a thing for collecting monsters.
Okay.
He used to be part of the Grinning Blades. He split off to form what he calls Scumdrek's Monstrous Menagerie.
Good name.
Yeah, right?
But it is a good name.
It's a really good name. He collects the craziest and most intense beasts he can find to fight
most
in his...
intense beats he can find. He's just collecting all those sweet samples for the remix.
DJ Scumdrek. collects them all to fight in his menagerie or to fight in his extremely popular like gladiatorial ring. Scumdreck just has the like 5-star Vegas level attraction like gladiator pit in Kruleboyz society.
That tracks. Yeah, for sure.
Everybody knows after a long day skulking, you can go to Scumdreck's menagerie and see Troggoth fight Chaos Spawn, or like a bunch of guys try and bring down a manticore, or like whatever crazy thing Scumdreck's managed to capture and bring into the menagerie.
Damn, yeah.
Scumdreck's almost unique amongst Kruleboyz because like Kruleboyz will work with Hobgrots. They value Hobgrots more than like Hellsmiths do, but they still don't like. Part of why that they're able to do that is because they don't see Hobgrots as a threat.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, you're never gonna have more fame than me. You're never gonna be able to like take over
You'll
from
never be
me.
sneakier than me.
Yeah, exactly. You're just kind of here. Scumdreck finds like a weird kinship with Hobgrots. It's probably the kind of like mercenary nature of them, where they're willing to work with Hellsmiths and Kruleboyz and just kind of like be around doing stuff. Their main concern is compensation. So that like material focus means that Scumdreck, to the point where Scumdreck seems to prefer the company of Hobgrots to like other orcs.
Interesting.
It's just Scumdreck and his Hobgrot buddies.
Yeah.
He exclusively employs them at the menagerie where they're like running operations and stuff. He does. I couldn't find any further clarification on this, but they do like take bets at the menagerie.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me because, to my knowledge, orcs don't use money.
Right. So is it just the thrill of being right? Is it the thrill of winning again?
It's got to, but you'd think, but no, because we have a like in-universe scene of Hobgrots ambushing an orc who hasn't like paid his gambling debt and hauling him before Scumdreck.
But they don't have money.
Right. I don't know if
they don't value stuff.
Yes, exactly.
So what is he supposed to be giving?
It might be like time in the pit, I would assume. Like you lost your bet, so you have to fight in the gladiator pit and you ran off before you're allowed to. It could be materials. Like they don't value things, but still the like
it's still useful to have
here's some
things.
spears, or here's some like stuff for capturing monsters.
Yeah.
I got a big shipment of elixirs coming in from the swamp collar up the way.
Yeah.
So there's probably it's probably closer to a barter system, but I was frustrated that they didn't like go deeper into that.
Right. That does feel like this immediately jumps out. It's like, oh yeah, wait, hold on, they don't have money.
Right.
What are you gambling with? And if it's not just the abstract, I like to win.
Yes.
Then it's got to be a thing. And why, if you're writing that scene, not state what the thing is?
Right.
Unless they just couldn't agree.
Probably something on that level is my guess. Scumdreck doesn't particularly like going out and fighting. Again, like he's more than happy to just oversee his little pet project. But the existence of that pet project is somewhat predicated on the idea that like infamy, that everyone's aware that like Scumdreck's big and powerful and like important and capable. That's why it's interesting that he's running his little like circus routine, right? Like if he wasn't doing that, maybe he wouldn't get the crowds he got. Maybe people would be trying to like raid the menagerie more often or challenge him for power.
Oh, so you do have to like establish the reputation.
Yes. So he does go out and fight. He takes the menagerie out with him to fight, or he'll just join in like other warbands operations. His this is new because he this is a little bit of fun. I can't believe I didn't write in my notes. There's a little bit of fun trivia for all of you orc heads out there.
Oh. What up, orc heads? Sound off in the comments.
All of 3rd edition, for whatever reason, Scumdreck's Sludge Raker didn't have a name. He was just the Sludge Raker Scumdreck like rode on.
That is odd.
Yeah, and he had the same like combat profile as other Sludge Rakers. He was just a Sludge Raker, and maybe that was intentional at the time, where they were like, it's the discarding thing. Yeah, it's the like use and discard thing.
That was a question I was going to ask. Is that like, do you have like these beast tamers? Do they care about the beasts they tame in any fashion?
It depends. Okay. Some do, some don't. That's usually whether or not they give them a name. So maybe that was the intention originally with Scumdreck, was it was a use it and discard it type thing with his Sludge Raker, but they've either decided to walk that back or expounded upon it further on, which I like better because it gives him and his Sludge Raker a reputation and a relationship with capturing other beasts. Like Scumdreck is our beast guy, and the fact that he can rely on his sludge raker whose name is Slopclaw.
Slopclaw?
Yeah, it's a fun.
Okay.
I like Slopclaw.
Slopclaw the sludge raker?
Yeah. The fact that he can rely on Slopclaw, who's like a kind of old, like wizened, he's an old man dog of a sludge raker beast. The fact that he can rely on him not just for the like snatching like infantry guys to put in a cage or whatever, but for incapacitating like big monsters so that they can like tie him up and take him back to the menagerie. It creates a more interesting dynamic between the two than if it was just a like, this is my sludge raker this week. Like, so I like that a lot. I'm glad that they decided to go deeper on that relationship.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. The last thing about, so that's mostly, he just runs his carnival, he runs his menagerie, people come watch the fights, he'll take the monsters out to do actual combat occasionally. And then the last kind of interesting thing about him is that Scumdrek is so addicted to gambling. Like he's always placing bets on the matches and stuff and like betting against people and whatnot. And that's part of the like winning thing. He just wants to win.
Did he have the gambling addiction before or after he started the menagerie?
Before, because it's always been his thing.
Okay, I was just wondering if like he's like, I'll open this because it'll be fun, and then it became a problem, or did he have the problem and is like, all right, I need a venue where this can't like self-destruct on my life. If I'm the one in charge, it doesn't matter.
Yes, that it's the menagerie is an extension of Scumdrek's gambling addiction. So yeah, Scumdrek's problem is so bad that his rules for playing him in game, if you're playing him as part of like a normal Kruleboyz army and not as part of the menagerie, because in the menagerie he gets like his different stuff that's more beast focused. But if you just run him with a normal group, then his rule is about you pick like one of your own units that you are betting on with a unit of like friendly Hobgrots if it's going to die first.
Oh
yeah. He calls the Hobgrots he brings personally with him into battle the counting crew. So at the start of the game, you just bet with the counting crew which units you think are going to die first. And then if they do, either Scumdrek gets a bonus if he won the bet, or the counting crew gets a bonus if they won the bet.
That's so weird, but
right?
Kind of fun.
Yeah,
like I dig that as a vibe. Like that's such an interesting thing.
It's such a fun ability that's like really bad in game. Yeah. It's like no one runs normal Scumdrek.
No.
But it's fun. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And I like it as a storytelling element. But that's Scumdrek, the last guy on our list of famous faces. One of my favorite characters in Age of Sigmar. But I do just love an orc as well. So that's not surprising.
So, okay, yeah. He was coming in with a little bit of an advantage.
Yes. But he is on top of our Vulture there.
On top of old Vulture. All covered in viscera.
Yeah. That is Gobsprak, the Mouth of Mork.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right.
Tell me more.
He is a very old, extremely skilled swamp collar shaman.
Ooh.
Probably the oldest and most skilled in the realms. He has such a powerful command over swamp calling magic and such a powerful command over his like own sense of like infamy and like his own personhood that has almost a supernatural effect like on the world around him. It's said that even saying Gobsprak's name when he's near can fill your lungs with swamp water. He is a master of hexes and curses, which is an extension of like swamp calling magic. Again, very witchy. Yeah, speaking Gobsprak's name might see your lungs fill with swamp water or your tongue turn black and wither.
Ooh.
Just kind of almost a cryptid of like an orc wizard, where even non-orcs know that Gobsprak is this kind of weird omen of an individual, almost more force of nature than actual like person. Just so in tune with the swamp and everything that entails.
Damn. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Why? How?
He just seems old and skilled.
Oh, right. You did say that. Yeah.
His big unique thing, his big claim to fame, and the source of his title, the Mouth of Mork, is that he was blessed by Mork with the gift of tongues.
Ooh, okay.
Gobsprak can understand and speak any language of the realms.
That's pretty good.
Living or dead.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not just because a lot of there's a bit in the book because we usually get Destruction Faction lore from like an outside source. So there's a bit in the book that's like speculation by like an Azerite scholar of like, we've never seen a record of this kind of magic before. It's not even in the domain of what we would associate with orcish magic. So it's crazy that it would be a thing that this person has. I suspect that he's just lived a really long time and is like digging through records and teaching himself all this stuff. We know swamp callers like hoard knowledge and have an actual appreciation for it. Like, that's crazy. It's definitely not the case. But then the refutation of that is living or dead, right?
Yeah.
Because Gobsprak, the big thing that facilitates in the narrative is, so Gobsprak is the head of the Grinning Blades clan.
Okay.
Those are the ones that got associated with Kragnos. And part of why that was possible to happen is that when they encountered Kragnos, like they and Kragnos encountered each other, Gobsprak was able to fly his vulture up in front of Kragnos and communicate to him with his like ancient extinct language.
Yeah.
The book even speculates that probably part of the reason Kragnos was like stopped his like rampage to talk with this orc is because it's the first time he had heard his like native language spoken since he woke back up.
Yeah.
Because the rest of his people had been extinct, right? Like,
it's giving the Mummy 1999.
yes.
Where Benny is just cycling through prayers and languages trying to get something to stop Imhotep, and he recognizes one and it works.
Yep. Yes, so that's the mouth of Mark. That's why Gobsprak, that's Gobsprak's most unique claim to fame. He's also just an extremely capable wizard.
Yeah.
But more than anything, the fact that he can communicate with Kragnos, the fact that he'll communicate with humans and dwarves and elves and like other people of the realms aids to the level of like sneakery he's able and willing to do, right? Gobsprak was always in charge of the Grinning Blades, but he's managed to, because like a bunch of people flocked to join the Grinning Blades during the era of Kragnos because following the biggest, baddest guy. Gobsprak was already playing fast and loose with his like translation, where he was more than happy for Kragnos to be like, do this thing. And then he would turn to the orcs and be like, Kragnos said, do this other thing. Right? Like, because he's the only one who can understand him.
Yeah.
And so he's already willing to do that. But ever since Kragnos disappeared, he got yeeted out of the narrative. Gobsprak has just fully leveraged that to be like, no, nothing bad happened to Kragnos. I am still operating as an agent of his authority. He just said he has to go do something else, and you should listen to me.
Yes. Interesting.
And so ostensibly the Grinning Blades are still kind of like Kragnos' like personal cohort. It's just that Kragnos isn't in the narrative anymore. Yeah. And Gobsprak is leveraging that relationship to use him as like a distant force of authority.
Yeah.
Right? Very sneaky.
Very sneaky.
Kruleboyz. The other really big thing that I think is fascinating about Gobsprak is in the same way that like all swamp collar shamans do, where they just kind of collect elixirs and alchemical components and like magical esoterica. Gobsprak has just a huge collection of like magic objects that he's stolen or pilfered or created with his own power. And so I just have a couple of them here that I think are very fun.
Nice. Oh, I'm very excited. I love weird magic esoterica. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, esoterica. Yeah.
Thank you.
First, I'll point out his buddy, like other swamp collar shamans who have a grok companion to help them with their stuff. He has one too. You can see him sticking his head through the banner on the back there. He's just, like, hanging off the back there.
Hanging off the back, stick his head out. Yeah.
That's Wrinklefinger, the grot, who just knows all of Gobsprak's magical items, all of his like alchemical components. Is the only person that Gobsprak trusts because he just hangs off the back of the like chair there on the back of the vulture and grabs the things that Gobsprak needs and hands them to him through the little curtain so that he can use it.
Very good.
Right. The vulture is named Killabeak.
Of course it is.
Gobsprak
Great
also
name for the vulture.
Right. Gobsprak also values his like individual vulture. He's taught it a bunch of stuff. He's probably used magic to make it smarter, and
it was already pretty smart to begin with.
Exactly. And so it can operate independently, unlike like a killaboss riding vulture, who's mostly just going to use it to keep doing killaboss stuff. Gobsprak needs to be able to like focus on magic, focus on like components he's mixing and stuff. And so he's trained Killabeak to be able to operate really independently, where he can just kind of whisper what he needs into Killabeak's ear and assume he'll take care of it while he's working on something else.
On it.
Yep.
On it, boss. Got it.
Absolutely. So the first and the most conspicuous of his magical items is the Bogbark staff. That's his big staff that he's holding. Yep, it's got the hand on the top of it. I forgot to put it in my notes, but the Bogbark staff's big thing is that, and this is why it's important that it's like a unique thing for him and not just like swamp callers in general, is that hand is the hand of a greater demon.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah.
He slayed a Lord of Change, the greater demons of Tzeentch, god of magic, And through sheer force of will and magical might, when a demon dies, they poof.
Yeah.
They turn into nothing and return to the realm of chaos. It's his greatest trophy because he, using his own magic and his own might, managed to bind it to this physical plane and mount it on top of his staff.
You know, the demon was so pissed when they showed up in the realm of chaos, and we're still missing their hand. Like, what the fuck do you mean?
That demon still doesn't have that hand.
Yeah.
Because demons reforge in the world. And so when he reforges in the material world, he's still missing that hand.
Is there any part of narrative where it's like, and that guy is looking for him?
Almost certainly.
Like, where I feel like he wants his hand back.
Yes.
And that feels like a story beat that we can circle back
Absolutely.
to.
I'm sure we'll see it eventually. Right now, it's just it's an expression of how powerful the Gobsprak is.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that's meant to tell you immediately, like, oh, this guy's no joke. This isn't like low trickery. This person is genuinely probably one of the most powerful wizards in existence. The Bogbark Staff's great. He's got various like implements that allow him to cast different spells. The Strangle Hex is his favorite, which he can use to target like big creatures because it just it like hexes your lungs and windpipe, fills them with swamp water.
The swamp water.
Yep. And so bigger creatures are more affected by it. The one with the funnest name is the Screamin' Mandrak.
Very good. Very good.
Wrinklefinger's actually holding it, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, he's got something back there.
Yep, it's a mandrake. Said they spell it Mandrak.
That makes sense. Yeah, of course.
Screaming Mandrak is a extremely potent source of arcane disruption. So Gobsprak can use it and direct its power to help in game terms and also in the lore of Age of Sigmar. When a wizard casts a spell, what they're doing is they're taking the disparate, unfocused magic that just permeates all of reality, and they are binding it to a specific purpose. That is what casting a spell is. And so a skilled opposition wizard can unbind a spell and just return it to its base components before its effect can happen. All wizards are capable of that, and being in possession of the Screaming Mandrak lets Gobsprak do it better.
Very cool.
Yeah. Game rules wise, when you cast a spell, you roll 2 dice and you're trying to beat a target number, and then your opponent can roll 2 dice and try and beat whatever you rolled. When Gobsprak does that, he rolls 3 dice instead.
Oh.
Yes, it's very potent.
It's a whole extra dice potent.
Yes. And then Gobsprak's favorite trick, something that's a mix of magical capability and like various implements and ingredients that he has on him, is called Mork Says No.
Oh, okay.
Mork Says No happens just whenever Gobsprak unbinds a spell.
Okay.
Whenever he disrupts another wizard's magic, he uses his mastery of destructive magic, his just mastery of magic in general, to follow because to bind magic, you are like expressing yourself into that big collection of magic. You are making a connection between your like person and the like raw magic of the world. And so what Gobsprak does is he reaches out and he whooshes the spell shoos the spell away, and then he follows that connection that you made to bind that spell back to you. So Mork Says No just does damage to a person whenever he unbinds one of their spells, and narratively what that's doing is that he is just flooding that connection with Wa magic and letting it manifest however it may.
Yikes.
Yep. So that's like a person who's not attuned to destruction just getting overwhelmed with destruction magic. They can go crazy. They can just splitting headache that turns into their head exploding. If Gobsprak really doesn't like you, he can focus it more to just give you ringworms, which is a crazy thing to specify.
Yeah.
Like, why'd you do that, Gobsprak?
Because it's the most awful.
Yeah. I
he
mean,
also
true.
doesn't like those skull crawly.
Correct.
What are the skulls?
Skullbugs.
Skullbugs. And I thought skullbug, and I thought that was too simple.
Yep.
He also doesn't like the skullbugs and recognizes that's a terrible thing to happen.
Also, it gets worse because it's not just, it's not ringworm, it's tapeworms. But worse than that, because orcs and because crazy nonsense, it's not.
Because ringworm's a yeast infection.
Yes.
It's not a worm.
No.
Yeah.
It's not tapeworms. It's tapeworm squigs.
Yeah, that's way worse.
Yep.
That's way worse.
Yep. Does damage, makes it harder for you to cast. If he unbinds really well, then it just does even more damage. That's his thing. And he thinks it's, again, so funny. Like, that's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
It is just like, I live in a swamp in the middle of nowhere, and all of y'all talk about how much study and capability with magic and high and mighty and shining armor, and I just batted your magic out of the sky so hard it gave you ringworm, or it gave you tapeworms.
It gave you squig tapeworm. That's fucking hilarious. Hey, so with the thing that a scholar said earlier, or in the writing, it's like, oh, this is probably just, he just knows these languages, and this isn't, because that's not Orcish magic, but Mork is cunning.
Yes.
And so knowing a lot of languages is a real good tool to have in your cunning arsenal. So I just think that guy doesn't know shit about orcs.
No, it's framed as that person being wrong.
Yeah.
Like, it's this scholar not understanding like the broad idea of what like orcish magic can actually be, what orcish power can actually be. Because people outside of orcs tend to view them as very simple.
Yeah.
We're going to make our second Pratchett reference to the episode. They are simple, but simple doesn't mean stupid. Yes.
Also, it probably is coming from someone who, these guys, their whole thing is we like to sneak, we like to win. And our Ironjawz are like, yeah, we just want to run amok and fight.
Yep.
You're way more likely to have encountered an Ironjawz
Yes.
and probably walked away. Or not you, but you heard stories of folks who encountered an Ironjawz and walked away, because the winning wasn't the point. Just, let's punch each other until we fall down was the fun part for them. And so that's probably largely the baseline for how other cultures are viewing orcs as a whole.
Absolutely.
Because you don't interact with the Kruleboyz and live to tell that tale, I feel.
No, certainly not frequently.
Yeah.
Right. Kruleboyz live and die by their sneakiness, by their, like ambushing a town at dawn and disappearing everybody and just leaving it to crumble, right? Like, that's not a thing where you're going to have a lot of information on Kruleboyz. But yeah, Gobstrek's currently trying to unite more and more of the like Kruleboyz clans under his banner, leveraging that like influence he got from Kragnos. He also works with the other destruction leaders, which I think is really fascinating, and not always like self-interestedly. So like after the siege of Excelsius, when that failed, Gordrak, our big Ironjawz guy.
Yeah, we like that guy.
Yeah, the Fist of Gork. That's their opposing Fist of Gork in the Mouth of Mork.
Yeah.
Gobsprek went to Gordrak just to like tell him like, hey, like if you're trying to do this like embodiment of Gorka Morka thing, like I get it. Like absolutely, totally. You're too Gorky. You're too get in people's face and fight. You're not cunning enough. And like, I know you're not going to trust that take because it's coming from me, like who is a cunning, like, and you're just going to think like, I'm just trying to get you to be more like me, and like maybe a little bit. Yeah. But I can see what you're lacking. And I have not even necessarily a vested interest, but just like, if there's going to be somebody who's this like embodiment of Gorka Morka, then I feel like you're a good candidate. And so I'm helping. Like, I'm giving you advice.
Interesting.
Like, right?
Okay.
Like I said, it's a very unique take for orcs in general, especially Kruleboyz, because like Gobsprek's also self-interested. He also wants to win. He's like kind of the pinnacle of Kruleboyz society, but he's thinking bigger.
He can see the bigger
scheming.
win.
Yes, absolutely.
He's not just, it's not about, for him, it's not about the win right here in the moment. It's the big capital W win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He also, we didn't get like a ton of between him and Scragrat, the leader of the goblin clans, but they don't like each other. Because goblins, we haven't mentioned this up till now, goblins broadly don't like Kruleboyz. Some of the
vibes.
Yeah, some of them will work with them, but like the Gits especially don't like Kruleboyz, specifically because, quote, it's not fair that you can be both big and cunning.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I see where they're coming from.
Yeah. So some will work with Kruleboyz because they're more cunning, like they just blend together better. But like leadership within Gits tends to be like, you're doing it wrong, like because you're still like big orcs and stuff. You're not really cunning, because to really be cunning, you have to have no other option. Like you have to be where we're at, where we're the smallest, weakest, flimsiest little dudes in the realm.
We have to be the most cunning.
We have the cunning to back that up. But yeah, that's Kruleboyz.
Okay,
that's our famous faces, our clans, our monsters. Yeah,
I like all the monsters.
They're very
the monsters
good.
are very good.
I'm a big fan. You can tell which ones I am the biggest fan of because they're painted.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm still working on it's also influenced by the fact that so my only one of my monsters who isn't painted is my Gnashtooth. And that's also influenced by the fact that the entire time he's existed in the game until like right now, he has been complete dog shit.
Oh,
he has been unplayably bad.
There's no need to invest time in that.
Yeah, and so
but they're better now.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a I think I've talked about it briefly. There's like a lore thing going on right now called the Scourge of Gyran, where the fighting of this edition has like moved into Gyran. Like Skaven have made inroads there, Nurgle's doing stuff over there, and so just like the bulk of the fighting has moved that way.
Yeah.
And Gyranish magic has seeped into like some units from each of the armies, which is a lot to say that it's a narrative justification for on the meta level, Games Workshop being like, aha, you can run this version, like the normal version of this unit, or you can run the special, like Gyranish version of this unit while we're in this season, because they've been influenced by Gyran. So the normal version of the Kilobasa Nashtooth is still very bad, but the Gyranish version, the Nashtooth, is empowered, so he's got like a bunch of fun abilities where he can teleport from one part of the board edge to another part of the board edge because he's stalking around the sides. He's faster, empowered by Gyranish magic, and he has is both scary and very fun ability called Drag Him Out, where if he's in combat with a hero, you get to move him, like his movement, and then your opponent has to move their hero away from where they were and put him next to it, because the Nashtooth just bites him and drags
him by the ankle.
Yeah, which means you can drag him away from, like if you have an enemy wizard who's trying to hide behind all of his like rank and file guys, you can drag him away from the fighting to fight him alone, or
Damn, that's rough.
Right. So that makes him good, and also he's a cool model. I want him to be good so that people run him because he's a cool model.
Yeah, because he does look cool.
Yeah, it's very dynamic.
I would not like to have one of these guys sneak up behind me and suddenly breathe.
No, they're too big.
They're
too big. They're too spooky. They want to win too much.
Not a good time.
That's our Kruleboyz episode. I've been very excited to talk about them ever since we talked about Ironjawz, because I love Kruleboyz, I love Orruks, and I like that Age of Sigmar is both willing to do. I've talked before, I love Age of Sigmar Orruks because they're so weird.
Yeah, they're so weird.
Right, and they've got a crazy direction with them, and I like that we have the baseline crazy direction of them with Ironjawz, and that we're willing to experiment what else that can mean in this context, right? Because
that is really cool.
Are still orcs. They're still doing all that orcish stuff. It's just framed through a different lens that makes them so different. It gives them such a unique like twist.
Yeah, it's a little jarring almost. Yeah, but not in a negative way.
Yeah. That's our Kruleboyz episode. We talked about it a little bit last episode, but I want to reiterate it here because scheduling update. My plan is that we're going to have one more episode after this one before we're going to take a holiday hiatus. And then
hiatus.
Yeah. My intent is to hiatus from there probably to the end of January is kind of my intent. My work gets crazy right at the start of the year, so that'll give us a little bit of time to build up a little bit of a backlog, so we're not scrambling to record stuff and edit stuff and get it out and whatnot. So a little bit of a break from us. Like I said last episode, I promise I won't get horrifyingly injured and we'll be gone for 4 months again.
And I'm out here saying Dalton does not have to make promises he can't keep. And if we need to take a break, like y'all, there's lots of episodes you can turn on and listen while you're working on your minis. And I really love that color palette you chose for that army there. It's really going to be striking on the battlefield. Good job.
Completely agree. Great. Looks great from 3 feet, and that's what matters.
And that's what matters.
Happy to announce that the last episode before we take our hiatus, though, shout out to my buddy Jared. Our last episode before we take our hiatus, we're going to be talking about the Lumineth Realm Lords.
Ooh.
So that's Teclis's faction.
Oh, man.
I knew we'd get the back and forth. So we talked about Ironjawz previously. One half of the quote-unquote children of Teclis time, we are going to be talking about so they think of themselves true children of Teclis.
We're talking about elves for Christmas.
Yeah, the light elves of Hysh. Yep. Hanging up by the tree.
They're on the shelf. They're going to tell Teclis if you were good or bad.
Yeah, they are, in fact, on the shelf. But we look forward to coming to you with Lumineth next episode. I hope you enjoyed the Kruleboyz episode. And I hope because... you'll hear from us again, but I'm going to go ahead and wish you a happy, early Thanksgiving, happy holiday season. I hope you are having good plans, good times, good friends.
Yeah, wherever you are in the world, I hope these next weeks are good.
Absolutely. But in the meantime, I've been your Swamp Kala Shaman, Dalton Montgomery.
And I'm Darian Smart, and I would argue that Gur would make a terrible Kingdom Hearts level.
See you next time.
Bye.